created subtle channels along the bodywork to feed air into the engine bay.
More nerd stuff. The old car, the 650, had a carbon fibre tub that came up to here. On the 720, all of that down the centre, everything is carbon fibre. That means these carbon windscreen pillars can be very thin, which makes it easier to see out, and it's light. Overall, they've lost about 18 kilograms up here. That means the centre of gravity is lower, which is good. God, it's the grip! It's staggering! It feels like a four-wheel drive. But if you do want things to get a little more nary, simply dive into the computers and activate variable drift control. It lets you select the angle of dangle through your drift by varying the amount of traction control. I think we'll go for all of it. Lots of drift available.
Your slugfest. You can switch back to comfort mode and settle down for a relaxing cruise.
That's the thing that stands out about this car. It's everything in one. You want speed, you get speed. You want comfort, you get comfort. You want to lose tyre rubber, help yourself. You want boot space, there's plenty.
But the thing I keep coming back to is those looks. Because at last, McLaren's technical perfection has been clothed in a way that does justice to the fizzing brilliance underneath.
God, I'm falling in love a bit here. Actually, no, I'll go further. I'm in love. This is utterly brilliant.
I'm actually proud to be British for that.
Hurry up!
Today, we decided that what Detroit really needs is a...
Let's do this!
Cadillac's old Connor Avenue factory. For over 60 years, they stamped out the body panels here for icons like the Eldorado, the Fleetwood, and the Coupe de Ville. If it were up to James, this creaking monument to the Motor City's decline would be turned into a shrubbery. But it wasn't up to James. So it would become a Monte Carlo-style tunnel feature on our Detroit-themed racetrack. Because building the track involved heavy machinery and manual labour, Hammond insisted on doing everything himself.
That is going to be a fast corner.
Despite this, though, he soon had everything ready. Because the track had been built by the world's most accident-prone driver, we thought it best that the God-fearing exorcist should christen it.
Away!
and James couldn't wait to give Hammond some constructive feedback.
I just want to say, Hammond, you witless dishcloth. That is the worst racetrack I've ever been round. It's slippery, it's full of holes, it's full of obstacles for you to crash into, it's narrow.
It's challenging, is it? Technical.
It's not challenging, it's only about that much bigger than the car, and it's made of butter. And it appears to be full of asbestos waste.
Oh, it is full of asbestos.
Yeah, I'm sorry about
Oh, well,
that.
thank you.
Sorry, yeah, close your window.
All of us then set about our practice laps on Hammond's death trap. However, these were just unofficial practice laps. Now it was time for the one-shot winner-takes-all real thing.
In 3, 2, 1, begin! Away!
That was great. Oh no! Danger! What a go! Rubbish! Full throttle! It shouldn't feel so good, but it does. Oh my word! Forward! Oh, that's interesting. I pooed myself.
Funny noise.
However, the trouser accident had clearly been worth it.
Yep.
I'm happy with that, and I haven't hit any famous musicians or bits of old car factory.
Next, it was the turn of Corporal Crash.
Where's the fire engine gone? I saw
Fire
it
engine's
earlier.
over there. The ambulance is
Oh, we're all comedians today.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember, if you lose to James May.
It's more humiliating. It's worse than death.
In 3, 2, 1.
It's worse than death.
In 3, 2, 1.
Go!
Oh my God! Time to play. Gotta keep the pressure on. No car doesn't at my own racetrack. What have I done?
felt good. It felt like a quick one.
I don't know how to put this to you, but...
No.
Yeah. 0.4 of a second slower than James, mate.
This is what death feels like.
Yep, okay, get out of the demon. We've done the demon and the exorcist. It's time for the blue nun.
Blue nut?
Yeah. Totally pointless waste of time there. We've established the Mustang is the fastest by an enormous margin. But I'll go and do it, I suppose.
Jeremy Smug in My Little Pony, are you ready?
In 3, 2, 1, go!
Look at that for a tiny line.
You're running!
I know, but you'll see. He's got to get down to this corner before he gets back. Help me tip this over.
What is it?
It's organic palm oil, very slippery. It's the revenge of the urban farmer.
Into the blind bend. There is Stevie Wonder.
You do know it's palm oil that's ruining life for the world's orangutan.
Only this one.
Come on, come on. Short shifting into third.
And on that terrible disappointment...
For him.
It's back to the tent.
Get a bloody move on. It. The race between good and evil. Are we ready, gentlemen? We ready?
Go.
Go. What's happening?
I've got a couple of things to do before we start.
You think you can't just drag race this now?
Well, you've got to do it properly. This is a proper drag racing car.
What is he doing?
This is what you get when you buy a Demon. Costs you an extra $1 and you get this crate. Oh, it's like a picnic hamper for men. Then, underneath and to either side, I've got boxes with a new ECU. I've got everything I need.
ECU?
Yeah. Look at that!
He's got this enormous crate and some bags and tins full of tools with 2 space savers and...
Space saver wheels?
Hang on. Right, so that's it. Good.
Yep, now I've got to do the ECU, which goes in here, I believe. take that out, I think.
She's now got a different ECU. She's telling the engine to be powerful.
Right. Why didn't they just put that one in from the start?
So this all goes back in here with my new switch gear in.
It's an hour and 7 minutes.
Actually, you're right, it is. It's over an hour now. God.
There we go.
Finally, the rebuild of the Demon was complete. And it was time for the drivers to warm their tyres.
In 3, 2, 1, burn out! Go! Right, your tyres are warm. Are you now ready?
What?
So in 3, 2, 1, burn out!
Go.
Right, your tyres are warm. Are you now ready?
What?
So are you ready to come to the start line?
No!
What do you mean, no?
No, that was just a celebratory burnout.
Oh, geez, he's got out.
I've done all the building work, now I've got to set the car up.
What?
I've got to get in the right modes. There's stuff to do, mate.
Oh, I've had enough. I'm sorry, I've had enough. Bye.
We're never going to do this.
So, I need to go into drag. Drag mode activating. Excellent. Drag transmission, drag traction, power. So, power needs to go up to 840. We are now in high octane.
I've never known anything like it.
With our starter on his way back to London, the traffic lights were brought in and, finally, we were ready to go.
I'm going to bust your ass, evil boy. Oh, yes.
What are you going to do with it now? Because I've seen the film and I wouldn't do it. Three, two, one. Dig in. Go, go, go. Underneath the beat. Go, go. Ah! Evil wins. Evil wins. Yes! Victory for the Demon. Thank you. Aha!
Yes,
Because I won.
you won.
Because
you did
I won.
win.
Yes,
Well
I
done.
did. You
win.
noticed that?
Yes, I noticed
That I
you.
won.
Yes.
At the end of the race, if you saw, my car was in front of your car, which means I won.
Can I just point out that first you had to spend half a day rebuilding half your car, and then you had to run it on fuel that you can't buy from a normal petrol station?
No, wait a minute. Your excrement runs on that clever fuel all the time.
I was sort of banking on you not knowing that.
Yes, well,
Gentlemen,
I do know it.
Gentlemen, I think we have to agree that the Mustang is the only car here that ticks all the muscle car boxes. It's cheap, it's powerful, it runs on fuel you can buy, and you can have it with the steering wheel on the correct side.
You don't get it, do you? You just don't get it. A muscle car is supposed to have 1,000 horsepower, be undrivable, and have a stupid name.
It's called Ready to Rock. That is a stupid name. Listen, Hammond, not only are you the fiscal brain of this operation, you're also the resident muscle car enthusiast, yes? So, and I know the answer to this because you told me on the plane on the way home, of the three cars, which would you actually buy?
Buy.
Buy.
With my own money.
Yes.
Buy.
Yes.
Myself.
Yes.
It's the Mustang.
There you go, the Mustang. And so on that terrible disappointment for you...
Snowflakes.
It's time to end. Now, next week, it is a Grand Tour special, where we attempt to become the first ever television show in the history of television to go to Colombia and not use the C word. See you then. Goodbye.
Get out of the way.
Hello and welcome to what is a...
Get a bloody move on.
But, for some extraordinary reason, Richard Hammond decided that the start point should be in the middle of the night, close to the bustling city of Cartagena, on a tropical beach.
Morning.
Morning.
Why did he say meet on a beach, and why did we listen to him?
Where is he? Hammond!
It's 4 o'clock, for Pete's sake.
Is that a Fiat Panda?
Fiat Panda 4x4.
It's terrible.
It's fantastic.
No, that's fantastic. Look at that. That is a sturdy car, that is. What's that? Well, wasn't that a distressed flare?
Well, a red one is a distress, isn't it?
What's that?
Hang on, is there a person on? There's somebody on it.
Hello? Hello?
Hello!
It's Hammond.
Is that your car?
Yes, this is my car!
It's his car. As the sun began to rise, we asked Hammond to come ashore so we could work out what on earth was going on. Well, where do we begin? Why is your car there?
Well, because that's where the boat dropped me off.
What boat?
Well, I shipped it from North America.
Yeah.
They got to here, wrapped it in polythene, lobbed it over the side, me with it. That's how they do it.
Problem we've got is, how are you going to get your car from there to here?
I was rather hoping that would be we'd do that. That's
No, if you listen carefully, he said how you're going to get your car from there to here.
You singular.
It's you, meaning you.
What?
No, he didn't say
You made
us.
this get up. Eventually, though, James relented and agreed to pull Hammond's car ashore. Right, go, mate. Go, go, go. Give it a yap.
3, 2, 1, away.
James, what is that? I mean,
It's got 49 horsepower. It's going to ruin it. Get
can
the
we find a
Jeep.
small dog instead to tow it?
That is presumably a pickup truck. Yes?
Yes, you've
And
guessed.
four-wheel drive?
Yes.
Right. Why don't you go out there, cut away the polythene bag, and drive it out using the engine?
It's a good idea, because what you don't do when you drive a car is use the engine in someone else's car. Use the one in your own car.
Yes.
Unfortunately, though, it wouldn't start.
No.
So, after getting brained by the waves for a while, he waded ashore again and came up with a harebrained scheme where the Fiat would be an anchor and the Jeep a tug.
3, 2, 1, go. Oh, shit. Hammond, you moron!
Well, I couldn't do anything. I got no steering. I was
Why
talking.
didn't you tell us?
I was yelling on the radio. You pulled me
This
from
family
a
has
building.
loved this car since 1991, and you turn up from bloody Wales or North America or wherever it is you've been, and you've already ruined it.
Listen, it's been a bit of a cluster thing. We need to work it all out. We need communications properly organised.
What is
You
that?
need
That?
It's my ladder.
You bought something you can't get into or out of without a ladder.
It's very high up.
So far, Hammond's pickup had wrecked everything on the beach and all my cameras and cost us 10 hours. So we told him to shut up again and get it working. And once he'd done that,
Yeah!
we headed into Cartagena to buy some cameras.
Right, this Jeep Wrangler hardtail cost £8,000. And absolutely everything on it works. So, I think it's going to be ideal, though, for wildlife photography because it's four-wheel drive, it's Jeep. So I can use it to track a snow leopard. It's got a 4-litre straight 6, so I could keep up with a diving eagle. And of course, no roof, bogged down windscreen. So, a 360-degree field of fire for my camera. Oh, dearie me.
me fill you in a bit on my 1998 Chevy CK Silverado. It's a full-size American pickup that's been made a bit bigger with a lift kit and modifications that I'll tell you about later. Most importantly, it's got a proper big old 7.4-litre V8 up front in a very lazy state of tune, just churning out huge gobbets of grunt.
Go!
I have four-wheel drive, high and low ratios. That and this massive lift kit, I can go anywhere with it. No animal's going to stay away from my lens. Probably most wildlife photographers use things like this anyway. You don't see it, on the telly with that grown stuff because, well, this is behind the scenes. This is how they get there.
Now we're alone, viewers, let me tell you a little bit about my car. And I know some of you are thinking, oh, that's just a Fiat Panda, and they're in South America, they're bound to be going over difficult terrain, yes, yes, yes. But let me tell you this, what you need for serious off-roading is smallness and lightness. That's what I've got. This is a tiny car, it weighs 780 kilograms, a quarter of what Hammond's stupid monster truck does. There you go. Now, if you compare this with the original Series 1 Panda, it has a four-wheel drive system made in Austria, very dependable, slightly raised drive height, but the same engine does have inclinometers on it, so that I can see when I'm about to fall over. It all works, the lights work, the handles work, the fan, the cooling system, all the instruments, the windows and the automatic mirrors, it's all perfect, apart from the bit that Richard Hammond damaged.
Soon we arrived at the really rather beautiful walled city of Cartagena. Eventually, having got our shopping done, we met up for a camera show and tell. And once again, Hammond had gone completely over the top.
This is a 50mm prime, really fast, beautiful lens. Then I've got another harness, so that's for the actual camera. Importantly, of course, camera body, very good one.
Well remembered.
And most importantly of all, telephoto lens.
Shall I show you what I've got?
Yes?
I haven't bothered with any of that. I've just gone for the telephoto, not one of yours, but that. This is all I've got. That's all you need.
Well, that is literally it.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Well, are you going to photograph animals in this country? It's a lot of glass.
Clear this away, let me show you what I've got.
Right.
That is a camera.
If we'd been tasked with photographing somebody's 21st birthday party...
Perfect.
Welcome to 2018. Everything you've got in all that kit that you've just shown us is in there.
Show me your zoom lens.
Behold the
What,
lens,
is it a cold day?
behold the zoom. The woman in the shop said this camera takes good pictures. That's enough for me.
Keen to get cracking, we hit the streets and began immediately to do animal photography. James, move, you're in my salt. James, move, you're in my salt. I've got to get further away.
Oh, Christ, I've got a Mac.
James, move, you're in my salt. Woof. We've got to get further away.
Oh, Christ, I've got a macro on. Stay. Pigeon. Don't scare it. Oh!
Get out of the way.
Oh, I'm sorry, am I annoying you?
Yes, you are.
Well, yes,
you
what
can't
do to
possibly
me?
need to be that close. Hello, horsey.
Eventually, we got into the groove. Got it.
Look at my pigeon.
And after just 20 minutes, we met up to celebrate a job well done.
Yeah, I've got a dog.
You've got that horse one.
I've got the pigeon looking gormless.
I think haven't we pretty much done it?
A number of dogs and a number of horses.
Which
and
I-
the spider had gone, but I've got the whole...
Let's do this.
And why don't you pull alongside your colleague in his, let's be honest, 1 litre Fiat Panda with your 7.4 litre monster truck, and let's see who's got the slowest car, okay?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go!
Goes faster.
Richard Trailer Trash Trump Hammond has been beaten, and beaten big time, bigly.
I mean, I don't want you to take this personally or anything, Hammond, but your truck must be utter garbage.
Absolute garbage.
You wait, this thing will come into its own soon and you'll be left gasping.
I'm longing to see the environment where that comes into its own. Since the Jaguars weren't going to be in built-up areas, we ploughed deep into the jungle, along a dirt path that was once a railway built by the British.
Good. Drive carefully. Oh my God! Oh God! Hang on, that's not gone well. That'll do. Roaring up. Keep your panties on. God.
Right, Jaguars, they are very difficult to spot and very, very rare. You don't want to come face to face with a Jaguar, though, 'cause it does have very strong bitey bits. Kills its prey by biting through its skull and then penetrating its brain.
We drove for miles along the disused railway until eventually LGB Jeremy came to a halt.
Gentlemen, I'm rather confused here. We're approaching a bridge, okay? It says no cars, no people, no motorcycles, and no horses.
Well, what's it for then?
Moments later, we found out. It's all right, James. Why don't you just... He is actually going. James doesn't like heights.
Oh, did you see that one just moved?
Yes. What is that? Hold on. That's
Oh, careful.
1, 2. You've got 7 or 8, maybe 8 feet.
But that means I'll have to drive. I can't.
Well, it's got massive tyres. You'll just be running on the outer ones.
Well, so I get to this bit. My car is wider than that, and that's wider than my wheel. It won't do it.
And that's high, actually. What is that, 300 feet?
Some hundreds of feet, yes. Oh, dear.
Even though Hammond isn't at all accident-prone, I went first. Seatbelt on or off? Off. Because what bloody difference will it make? Really?
Go. This is a lot higher than it looked in the brochure. Oh, bollocks. Drive carefully.
Oh. Oh. Right, I've made it. That's good.
Hammond, you will shit your pants doing this.
Well, that's helpful.
I already am watching.
Go.
Not looking down, thinking about other things. Now, very slowly. Right then, let's go. It's not going to work. Full throttle.
And then it was the turn. Big Donald.
Oh, God. The only way I can do this is by looking at the driver's side tyre and keeping it as close as I can to that edge. And hoping to God that gives me enough. Oh, Christ. Go! I'm shaking like I've never shaken. I can do this. I am... Yeah, I don't know why more people don't drive their cars on the road. Crossing this bridge is just part of my journey.
Who is that clippity-clopping across my bridge?
Oh, God! Not the Billy Goat Grub game.
I will move my Jeep out of your way. If you can answer this simple prog rock question.
I don't know anything about prog rock at all! Let me off the bridge, I'm going to be sick, please.
Eventually, Hammond became quite irritated, so I abandoned the game. And soon, all of us became quite irritated. James, have you broken down?
Yes.
Problem is, you have people on the extreme left, James May, people on the extreme right, Richard Hammond, and it's always the liberal, sensible people in the middle, like me, who cop for it.
Eventually, having fixed the Fiat, I was back on the road again.
This car is just amazing.
But then,
Oh dear, I think I've just lost the exhaust pipe. This is tremendous. It's like being on a rally stage. Go! This is tremendous. It's like being on a rally stage. Away. Hey. Oh no! I happen to know that Tony and Sherry Blair were, in fact, massive World Rally Championship fans. In fact, I think they took part in a couple on the quiet. They just didn't want people to know about it. They thought it would sort of damage their reputation and their standing. Unlike, say, starting a war.
Further ahead, Molly Long Lens had grabbed a couple of animals. Further ahead, Molly Long Lens had grabbed a couple of animals. Further ahead, Molly Long Lens had grabbed a couple of animals. Further ahead, my long lens had grabbed a couple of animals.
I don't believe Amazon will be rushing to have that as their screensaver.
But we had yet to bag a jag. However, as it's a nocturnal animal, we were hoping for more luck as darkness fell. Eventually, though, after driving deep into the jungle, we arrived at exactly the sort of spot where jaguars like to hang out. This is extraordinarily promising.
I'm bored, and I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes.
I'm being eaten and I'm bored as well.
I think if a jaguar came now, I wouldn't see it. My eyes have shut down from boredom.
What are we going to do?
I know, but that is boring.
No, because honestly, I mean, the truth is, people could come out here for 40 years and not see a jaguar.
Well, we could use my trap cameras.
What's the trap cameras?
Set it up and they're triggered by an animal and then they take a picture.
Well, you've got those with you?
Yeah, in bag.
Well, why the hell didn't you say that when we turned up?
Nobody asked.
These are set off remotely.
Yeah. If an
Well,
animal...
why are we still here?
That's a very good point, actually. It's better that we go away, isn't it?
Let's take the Bear Grylls approach to natural history. There was a town, well, 10 kilometres away. Why don't we go into the town, have a drink, check into a hotel? How's that sound?
And then come back tomorrow and
Yes.
check the cameras.
Yes.
That's how you're supposed to use them. It's in the instructions. That's what you do. You set it up. That's how you're supposed to use them. It's in the instructions. That's what you do. You set it up.
The next morning, with James in a state of deep puzzlement, Hammond and I checked out the ruined trap cameras. So, let me just get this clear. The jaguar mauled your camera?
Yeah.
Is that really where it's bitten it?
Yeah, look, bits come off it.
So, but he's broken it.
Yes, he's broken.
But did
anyway.
this is the important thing. Did we get any pictures?
All right, look.
No.
Something triggered it. Maybe a leaf. Ah, look! There!
Where?
There! That's it.
That's it!
That's it
God,
walking.
it's a
That is a
camouflage.
There's
it
his head,
is.
there's his head! That's its actual face.
I mean, they're not...
There!
Yeah, but he's got a tree in front of him.
Oh, yeah, but that's context, that's habitat.
What's that?
This is when it got destroyed. That's its mouth. That's whiskers. Look. That's,
No.
That's a jaguar biting. That is an action shot. That's probably got awards all over it.
Oh, God, yeah.
Eyes.
Oh, now that is a great picture, and we can move on.
It is.
We have ticked that box. That's the ace of spades, the jaguar. That's Saddam Hussein. We've now got to go and get his sons. With the jaguar in the bag, our sights were set on the next target. Another rare and reclusive creature, the spectacled bear. We now have to drive 200 miles to find the sort of terrain where we're going to be able to photograph the King of Spades, Edgar Hussein, Paddington. And eventually we arrived in Spectacle Bear country. Right, now listen.
What? I like your trousers.
Well, no, at least he's trying. He's making an effort. But you should have gone the whole hog. Maybe some nice, hey, we're in the outdoors, some nice chaps. Suede, but ventilated at the back. And that shirt, you've picked up that colour. Have you been getting advice?
May we turn our attention to the bears now, to Paddington?
His skin's flaking. You should moisturise.
It's... What?
You should moisturise.
A little bit.
In the
Why
modern
should I
world.
moisturise?
Because your skin's flaking.
Because you're dry. You look like something found in a pyramid.
Anyway, listen, we must turn our attention...
Let's have a look at the sarcophagus.
I'm not putting that in the British Museum.
Rather than put up with any more of this persecution, I insisted we saddle up and set off to look for Paddington. Persecution, I insisted we saddle up and set off to look for Paddington. Persecution, I insisted we saddle up and set off to look for Paddington. Persecution, I insisted we saddle up and set off to look for...
Excuse me.
Thank you. That's Saddam Hussein. We've...
There he goes!
Persecution, I insisted we saddle up and set off to look for Paddington. Diagonal, obviously, while crossing these things. Oh, shite!
Oh! Oh! Look at you with the wheel in the air.
Can we please try not to make this look like it's a problem? Because the ladies and gentlemen think we're hopeless. I tried to drive myself out, which went well.
Speed and power.
He's just dug himself a hole.
So I asked Hammond for help, but predictably, his pickup truck chose that moment to go into one-wheel drive.
Oh. Oh dear.
There was only one solution. With the rope hitched up, we were ready to go.
So I'll give you a small tug,
Was that a gentle tug?
There we go.
and then it's down to you because I haven't got the weight to pull you, okay? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Go!
A Fiat Panda.
Yes!
Jeremy Corbyn just pulled Freddie Mercury out.
It's a meeting of minds.
I'm not sure we're very good at fist bumping.
With that calamity sorted, Hammond got four-wheel drive back, and we resumed our mission.
Right. Let's go on a bear hug. Go. Right. Let's go on a bear hug. Go. Oh, for God's sake. Actually looking forward to seeing a bear, I really am. I like all bears except polar bears, which I hate. They're vicious and they eat school children.
Joyously, we soon found another suitable spot, where I discovered I had a small problem.
I'm still not high enough up to see over the shrubs.
Well, nothing you can do about it now.
What?
Shut up. Nothing you can do about
Yeah,
it
I'm
now.
telling you, I just wish I was a bit
That's
higher.
how high you are.
What was that?
That's bear noise. Shh. I'm not bored now. That is a bear. It's a bear. It's a bear. I can't see it. Fantastic. There's a bear. Yes, it is. It moved. Shh. I can see his face. Oh, yeah.
Having had a decent night's sleep, we convened to plan our next move.
Morning.
What's the matter with your face?
It's all good.
No.
It's like being in The Singing Detective.
It is.
Bloody roof. Anyway, listen.
Sorry, I'm briefly mesmerised.
Listen.
Hurry up!
We then went shopping in Bogota's massive auto district. 20 city blocks of nothing but shops selling car parts.
Hang on a minute.
We then went shopping in Bogota's massive auto district. 20 city blocks of nothing but shops selling car parts.
OK, you have to find mine.
Where is it?
Well, yours is the one disguised as a bush in an industrial car park.
I've camouflaged it.
Well, yes, you painted it.
It's got roll-down netting that goes over the windows when I'm using it as a hide, and it has an inbuilt... Well, it's got a raise on it as well, because the one problem I've had is ground clearance.
What?
Yeah.
You've spent 2 days laughing at Hammond and me because we've got cars that have been raised and how awful they are, and then you've done exactly the same.
As an alternative expression, rather than I'm going to raise my car, why not I'm going to ruin my car?
What you've done is
it does.
ruined it.
Well, let's see. I've done it very subtly.
Well, can we move on to Hammond, who's obviously
If
gone
you can find it.
completely mad?
I too have gone the camouflage route because it's green, as you can see. I've mended the half shaft up here. That's the only mechanical work I've had to do because other than that, it's been perfect. Yes, this structure here is a hide.
I know it is. It's a hide on a monster truck. And you, because it's you put 2 cameras in there to film yourself.
Yes, that's the most important thing.
I love the idea that you two, afraid there's no other word, morons, have decided that somehow you can camouflage your cars so they won't be seen by aminals. I have already proved that mine can drive right up to a bear. He's interested.
Speaking of yours, what have you done? Whoa, what's all that on the back?
That, gentlemen, is a scissor lift.
What?
It's a scissor lift. Simply get in that and rise up. So then I have
so you're going to be a window cleaner.
The only thing this didn't really have was proper elevation. Now I have it.
How high does it go?
38 feet.
Really?
Yes.
It'll just fall over.
That's why I fitted it with outriggers.
They're not far enough apart or big enough.
They slide...
How much does it weigh, that?
I've added half a ton. And there's something else I've done. Oxygen is fitted for my engine.
Why do you need oxygen?
Because we're going very high.
Well, 38 feet.
No, 15,000 feet. More, actually, nearly 16,000 feet.
Really?
Why?
Condors. They're in the sky.
That is
So I've got oxygen for the altitude, which we're going to.
Yeah.
That'll stop my face disintegrating.
It won't.
And that means I can photograph birds.
It won't.
As it was another 200-mile drive to reach Condor Country, we decided to get cracking immediately.
Quite slow there.
I'm going to win.
There we go. That's it.
I cannot wait to see a condor because they are one of the most superb creations on Earth. They just are magnificent. They can stay at 18,000 feet all day, maybe flap their arms once. Once. Right, gentlemen, we're passing 10,000 feet now. How's your temperature gauges?
Mine's getting hot, really hot.
Weirdly, my car isn't overheating, but it is producing some steam because I think maybe the cap isn't perfectly sealed and the ambient pressure is going down.
Yeah.
Why does he say ambient pressure? Why not just pressure?
We continued on Jeremy's journey up into the heavens.
Right, we're at something like 11,500 feet. We're still climbing. Car. Hang on a minute.
We continued on Jeremy's journey up into...
There we are. 2 clicks. Right, watch this. Go. Flash round, yeah? Come on, car. No! I'll just cut my lungs off. Oh, good. Oh, dear me. Engine. There we are. 2 clicks. Right, watch this. Go. Please don't laugh. Back in the rain. That's it, keep going, keep going. Oh, no. Television.
Come on, Z. Yes, you little beauty. Ooh. I may have overreached myself a little bit.
Oh, look at all the condos I can see. They're everywhere.
It doesn't work. Let's face it.
I've had a brilliant idea. Let's just get off this dusty bit and set our hides up there.
Yes.
So, we drove off the dust. Found a new, likely-looking spot. And when the clouds had lifted, we set about getting ready to do photography.
The idea of the netting is it stops the shine on the windows, which is very visible to animals. Oh. There was some on this side as well.
Right, it's ready.
You're going up in it?
Well, why do you not?
Well, I can see one reason. You see the maximum weight? 159 kilograms.
What's...
Well, you're not going anywhere, are you?
Well, the camera is quite heavy.
No. Oh, OK, yes, the camera. Why?
This is a lot higher than it looked in the brochure.
I wouldn't like that. That's really horrible. Keep going until the end bit drops out.
Why don't you two
Yes?
get in your cars?
Yes?
Okay.
And can I just reinforce one thing?
What?
Silence is key.
Agreed.
That ridge up there looks promising.
Right. Where is it?
No, back a bit, back.
I can't go back. I'll have to go all the way round.
What? I can hear it from up here. Right, that one there, stop.
Got it. I think I'll make a coffee. Sorry.
Then it was May's turn to disturb the peace.
What is that?
It's a bird call.
It's a duck.
Moments later, though, there was an even worse noise.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
If only there was something tall and metal that would attract the lightning.
Not wishing to be fried, I quickly descended. And then we all tried to outrun the storm. Which didn't work.
Road safety is what this show's about. Not that way. Bloody hell. Come on, this is it. Come on, come on, come on.
Mercifully, though, the storm passed, so we drove down the rough and icy mountain track, long into the night. And the next morning, woke for a rethink in a makeshift camp on the edge of a town.
What are you doing?
I told you condors live down here.
He's living. It was living up there and it's had engine failure and it's crashed here.
Doesn't matter how it got here. Fact is, it is, and I've got pictures of it. That means we're done.
You can't put that on an Amazon screensaver.
Why not?
Well, it's lost quite a lot of its majesty.
But it's a Condor, and that means we're finished. That's it, we've done. James, I've got a Condor shot.
Have you? You done it?
That is the final one. It's a Condor, in camera, finished, out of here.
Hammond was wrong, though. We still had one more animal to find. The one that didn't make any sense. The hippopotamus.
Right, listen. This is obviously some kind of town. I am a journalist and a bloody good one. So why don't I pop into town and see if I can find out anything about this hippopotamus story?
Having got the information, I went back to my colleagues.
Any joy?
More than. I have heard the most astonishing story. Apparently, there was this guy in Colombia who had a business exporting forest products all around the world, okay? Really, really successful. So
There we go!
Now, on the last 75 miles of our 1,300-mile trek,
Yes, viewers, about a kilometre to go, and I haven't been run over by a monster truck.
Here comes the danger bed.
Ow, ow, ow. Go. I'm absolutely delighted. Hammond, I can only see you behind me. Can you see Clarkson behind you?
No, just looking for him.
At that moment, though, we were distracted by what lay in front of us.
That is a pond. That's a pond.
Rather than wait for Jeremy, we decided to be ready in case our final target appeared.
Hammond. Look at his big fat face. Yes. Scary bridge you
I
did.
don't know. He overcooked it because it's nearly...
Go.
Is that?
It is.
Oh, brief moment of elation followed by plummeting depression. Where have you been?
Welcome.
I've been mending. Get a bloody move on. Taken.
They won't.
Well, some of them are quite good.
Well, one or two of them are good.
No.
Well, whatever. We'll see you very soon. Goodbye.